Hello everybody, Zakar here, and I'm going to be going through the patch notes, but I'm only going to be looking at stuff related to Necromancer. I'm not going to go through everything. I kind of just want to touch on some things, so it'll be a pretty brief video in comparison to most that are kind of going over the whole patch notes. I'm just going to be doing something specifically for Necromancers and people who like to play Necro or who are interested in playing Necromancer for 1.0. So in the 1.0 patch notes, we have a lot of changes. There's loads of stuff in here, so if you haven't got the chance, please go and read them or watch a video on someone who has read them and kind of giving a summary of what's to change, right? Right off the bat, what we have for Necromancers is going to be down here in the skills and passive changes that they've made. Parry, I don't think that's going to really pertain to us too much. Stun avoidance might be something that is interesting for Necromancers. Who knows? We'll see. With the skill and passive changes, this is where we're going to start. A Symbol Abomination got another nerf. So it's 2% more damage per minion consumed on the node Engorgement, which has a maximum. You still have a unlimited percent increase that comes from just the base skill of absorbing minions. So a Symbol Abomination is not going to be dead in any manner. It's going to be doing insane damage once again, but still clunky playstyle. And now this is just going to affect the top end a little bit, and also cause you to have to channel a little bit longer to get kind of those insane numbers that you had before. Bone Golem, we also see got a nerf to the Bone Shatter, which is really the only Golem that truly exists as a build. Some other ones, Fire Aura, are like okay, Ice Golem's okay, but yeah, I guess the cool thing is Cold Vengeance now grants 10% cold res. I guess that's great. But yeah, we got to see a little bit of nerf on the Bone Shatter Golem. I think the Golemancer build, where you have a bunch of golems, you're using Aaron's Will chest piece, I think that is still going to be a good build, and it's something that I want to try. I never got one in 0.9 or 0.91 or 0.92. So 1.0, hoping I can get that chest piece online and actually play a full-on melee Golemancer with like race and stuff like that. So I think that build would be pretty fun to do. Let's see, Drain Life here. I don't think anything here pertains to anything that Necro was using. So usually it's like the mana stuff. Kind of a big nerf here on Dread Shade is 20% less damage given from 60% to 40%. I speculate this is kind of like being done in preparation for all the flat damage that's going to be accessible to minions now that weapon suffixes kind of got like a revamp. So with that, those weapon suffixes, I think we might see it kind of level out or even be a little bit stronger than before. So looking at these numbers, you're looking at these nerfs like, oh no, but for those builds that have like access to a lot of multipliers, I think they're going to be fine. Some of the builds that don't have access, or some of the skills that don't have a lot of access to more multipliers, we'll see a little bit of a hit maybe, or kind of just level out and not really see much of a benefit from the flat damage increases. Although I do think the flat damage increases are going to be pretty significant for a lot of builds. Thankfully, Infernal Shade, none of this really matters. It did matter if you ever did the infinite damage scaling, where you put Infernal Shade on your minions and maybe use like Cycle to like have it pass on to your minion as it died and just continually scale up and up and up and up and up and up. So this will not allow it to scale up that high. It'll have a maximum bonus of 180%. This also might bring about some benefit for people who do want to try to attach it to a minion and let them survive the Infernal Shade. Now that it has a cap, there might be a chance of you being able to either out-regen it or something in some manner to like keep the minion alive for a duration and like have a walking kind of RF minion or few minions or whatever. Don't know if that's going to be something that'll be completely realistic, but I guess we'll see. Maybe someone will come up with something like that. I don't think Soul Feast is going to be anything that matters to us. Summon Skeletal Mage. This right here is awesome. So before Summon Skeletal Mage, cast Sacrifice. It didn't use your tree, so this is kind of them changing it so it doesn't look like it casts your sacrifice. Now they cast Profane Oblation, Profane Oblation, my bad, which does 75% more damage and deals necrotic damage rather than physical. So the downside is you don't get Bone Curse anymore to kind of like ramp up your Skeletal Mage whenever it casts Sacrifice. I think this build is going to be really nice. Going with base summon skeletal mages, skip ramping up necrotic damage, and then using summon skeletons or whatever to, spam summon them and have all your mages exploding them and using this profane ablation skill. I think this build is going to be pretty good. This might even be a contender for if you want to go Archmage to just have a solo minion and that really is just going all out with all these explosions. Or I think even having a army of them and using like all for one, the node in Dreadshade that removes the aura buffs and just grants more damage to a single minion, and then like ramping up your Dreadshade count so that way you can have 5 shades on all 5 of your skeleton mages, and then just spam summon skeletons to have them blow them up and then get your mana back. Summon skeleton. All these are pretty good. The added crit chance here is pretty nice for Unbound Necromancy. You didn't really go this. You kind of path to it to get the extra skeleton. Multi-shot now grants 8% more bow damage per point to skeletons. This is nice as well. It's another more multi. Skeletons are really lacking on the more multi. There's some rogue buffs here. Acid Flask got a little buff. Rogues, there was a rogue build out there before. Some guy named Cork made it a while back. It was a pretty good rogue build at the time. I think you're seeing just pretty much a buff to that build. It is on LE Tools somewhere out there. If you have not seen that, I would recommend checking that out if you want to kind of like scale that build at some point. It uses Lich's Scorn and some stuff. Pretty good build. Something I never really thought about. But a really good build for those who like it's a little quick intensive, so it's not like a lazy Necro build, but it's pretty good. The fact that Summon Skeleton Rogue's melee attack changed to a double hit, this is going to be nice. So previously, Rogues had the least amount of damage, just baseline, because they have an inherent stat that's kind of hidden that reduces their damage. So Warriors and Archers do the same amount of damage, and Rogues would do less. And so they kind of were just when you looked at them and tried to use them, it was like, why am I using Rogues? They don't do damage. They can't survive. They're melee, and it's just all this garbage. This, I think, is going to help them a lot in terms of them two-hitting, even with the damage reduction change here, which kind of sucks. And maybe we'll have to see if through data mining if they change any of the inherent modifiers. Maybe they remove that less modifier. Who knows? If it's still there and this is in the same state, then I think it's still going to be a buff, and I think it's going to be overall just a better version of Rogues. So and still, I think it's an improvement for that old build that used to that exists, that's out there that I haven't seen people play in forever. But definitely that build I think got buffed from all this. So and then more melee damage area and also more damage here. I think this is just no brainer. Good node. Summon volatile zombies. 10% chance to trigger their effects on indirect cast. So I believe this is like if you have more than one zombie to summon at a time, instead of the skill tree just summoning 3 zombies when you take that node for free on indirect summons, it'll now have a 10% chance for that to trigger. Or the giant zombie where you can summon a huge zombie, it'll have a 10% chance to trigger on those. So this is a nerf in all forms where you're using volatile zombie as like cycle of putrescence or whatever. It's a nerf for those, which is probably a good thing, right? But Flame Wraith just got nerfed kind of just around the board. The projectile cast doesn't go as far, so they have a limited range in comparison to what they did have. And then they have 20% less cast speed. I don't know how this is going to feel. I am a proponent of perma Wraith anyways, and I don't really use Flame Wraiths. The normal totem Flame Wraith build, I think it's a great build. I think it's still going to be great regardless of this nerf. So don't be afraid to play that build if you're going to start it or wanted to play it at all in 1.0. I think it's going to be a great build still. Then we have some changes to uniques here. Aberrant's Call got changed. It's a small nerf, and once again, not going to affect too much. Aaron's Will base type, not going to affect too much. Death Rattle, this is kind of huge in terms of those builds that, especially Fire Crypt minion builds. I'll have one out eventually, but this is going to affect them immensely. You looked at this kind of like as an in-game option for when you've gotten your crit figured out. You would kind of swap to Death Rattle to get the extra crit multi. And this, I don't think makes it worth it anymore. I think it's just better to go with like a Logi's Hunger if you're going fire crit. I think that's just all in all a better amulet to go with, and frees up a lot of affixes and stuff. I do not think you go to Death Rattle anymore, unfortunately, but because of this nerf. So that's a one thing you got to worry about. But I think it's still going to be good on some other builds. It's just not nearly as good. Obviously, it kind of sucks, but here we are. Nothing else here that's too crazy in regards to Necromancer. All this stuff seems pretty... Belts. I don't think there's anything in belts that's too crazy. Movement speeds are always nice, but I think you always want that armor belt. And unfortunately, none of the other belts got armor, so that sucks. This belt is going to be nice. This 35 to 50% reduced bonus damage from crits. That's going to be awesome. I think you go armor and reduce bonus damage now instead of crit avoidance on Necro. I think it's just a better way to go. Plus, you're already getting armor, and you're usually scaling that with vitality in some way, and also percent armor with your blessings. You'll end up with like a lot of DR from armor. But yeah, this is a nice boot change. Gloves. I don't think there's nothing here. This might be pretty nice as an implicit. I'll see if that's the best option for some of these other build option or glove options that you have. Rings. Don't use ivy rings typically. Weapons we don't care about too much. I don't think there's anything here that's gonna be too crazy. Usually I use uniques or sets, but I think with the suffix changes you're gonna be wanting to use a good weapon. I'm not sure what the best base is gonna be. I think you'll kind of play it by ear. Body armor here. One that's really good is the leech one here, and then the minion crit chance if you're going crit. I think those are pretty nice as implicits. And then always, it kind of sucks, but because I usually run this to get my endurance, it kind of sucks that we don't have this one, but I don't know if there's a replacement for it. Unfortunate, but you have to build out endurance probably on some of your affixes. Acolyte helmets, I know one of them got changed. Yeah, this one got changed, Revenant Mask, which had the minion spell on it. Unfortunately, we do not get that anymore. I don't know if there's a helmet that replaces it. Doesn't look like it, but that's going to be unfortunate in terms of getting that flat damage. We used to get it from Revenant Mask. Now we don't have one that has that spell damage on it, at least that I can see, unless I'm missing it. But, maybe this is where we get our endurance now, and also you're getting the reduced bonus damage from crits. So I think this will be pretty nice. Then you only need like one affix on your chest piece for that to get complete reduced bonus damage from crits taken from crits. So that'll be nice. Yep, here are the weapon affixes where you get the hybrid melee minion spell and hybrid minion and bow and hybrid spell and bow. This is going to be so awesome. And then you also have the hybrid damage types as well. This is going to be great for dot builds and any other build that already has access to a lot of flat. But typically you want flat on minions regardless if you're going any kind of hit or crit build. So this is going to be awesome for those dot builds. I know people are complaining about losing some of the increased percent damage because it had some physical and dot that you could use, and that kind of give you a boost. This is going to be way better. So it's better, all right? It's a buff all around. Weapons are better, and now it's just nice, okay? It's great. No new Acolyte affixes that I think are going to be really good. These are all just kind of related to Warlock. And yeah, I don't know if there's much else in here other than... Did we go over uniques already? Let's see, new uniques. I don't know where the new uniques are. Here's what I'll do. Wraithlord. Okay, so there are new uniques here. I think you've seen some of these. Some of these might be good for Necro. I don't know which ones have been announced, and I'm not going to go over all of them. But this one, Wraithlord Harbour. Oh, man. Oh, man. This one right here. So this is the Wraithlord's Harbour. This unique is awesome. Okay, so you get plus to summon raise skills. We know how long it get or what's the range. 47% increased movement speed, melee damage, minion spell, casting summon wraith. Instead, summons a Wraithlord. The Wraithlord scales with your summon race tree and summons other rays for you while in combat. While at max race, the Wraithlord casts necrotic beams and regularly consumes all your non-wraith minions to empower itself, gaining temporary maximum health equal to 10% of their maximum health and plus 10 spell damage for 10 seconds. This is going to be insane. Okay, I just want to say this. This is going to be insane. This right here, essentially, is a Wraith A-bomb. And this is going to be like such a good solo. I mean, you're going to have 3 minions, but kind of a solo minion-esque vibe. You can empower all of the wraiths that are being summoned. I say 3 because I just kind of default to perma wraiths where you get 2. But with this, you're going to essentially just want to juice up your Wraithlord by feeding it minions and getting that 10 spell damage. There's so many ways. You have Bone Prison. Bone Prison is anywhere from 11 if you get gaps, 12, 13 minions to 20 if you don't go with gaps, 21 somewhere around there. So that's already 100 flat if it just consumes all of those, right? Like that is easy 100 flat. You have summon skeletons that you can summon multiple at once. You have what else do you have? You have zombies that can summon parasites, each one of them. So you can summon 5 zombies that summon parasites, and then you cycle to summon more zombies that summon parasites. This is gonna be so easy to get a ton of flat. I'm talking about like 500 flat for this Wraithlord. And it's going to get all the Wraith, more multipliers. It's going to get everything. So this right here is going to be that build that you want to go. I think most Necro builds are probably going to want to go this build towards the end of the game, just because it's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome, and I'm hoping it's going to be like just an improved A-bomb in all sense. Range, better clear. You have more minions that you can kind of like use as fodder. But I don't know. This unique is awesome. David Harbour did a great job designing this unique, and it is amazing. And this is just like the perfect thing to end on. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. Go ahead and subscribe down below. I'm a few subscribers away from being able to enter the creator program for LE, even though I don't upload much, but I do every once in a while. Subscribe, like, comment below, and let me know what you guys think. Especially, let me know what you guys think of this Wraithlord's Harbour. I think it is amazingly awesome, and I hope you guys agree. Once again, thanks. Peace out.